What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. With Supergirl and Lanterns right around the corner and Man of Tomorrow dropping next year, the formation of the Justice League is clearly underway in the DCU. And while it makes total sense that an Avengers or Justice League film focuses on world-ending threats and massive stakes, sometimes smaller stories hit way harder. If you're a geek and grew up in the 2000s like me, then chances are you watched the animated series Justice League as a kid. The show is a beautiful and quite frankly unmatched on-screen interpretation of the DC mythos. It really balanced its narratives with small-scale battles and massive universal threats, while also continuously developing their character relationships and plot lines. In my opinion, the episode that perfectly exemplifies the small-scale narrative is Wild Cards. So what's so special about this two-parter? The plot is so simple, but it's so effective. The League, minus Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter, has to stop a plot to blow up the entire city of Las Vegas. But it's not just any madman holding the detonator. It's the Joker in a rare but unforgettable appearance in the show. And it's Mark Hamill, the GOAT. I mean, come on. Not only is he threatening to destroy the entire city, but he's also bought on-screen time from multiple channels to broadcast the entire ordeal. This episode becomes a game show that he's hosting as we watch Batman, Superman, and the rest of the team try to thwart his scheme by finding the dirty bomb and putting it out of commission. However,
it's not that simple. With the Joker, it never is.
Much like the Christopher Nolan Joker, this dude's plan just always has layers to it. In a twist, he's not planted one, but 25 bombs around the area for the League to find and defuse, all while having to face off against his Royal Flush Gang, a team of misled superpowered teens who also happen to be voiced by the cast of the Teen Titans, which is just absolutely peak. That show is also incredible. And they all have playing card gimmick, so it's 10 through ace essentially, which is very Joker, I might add. But the episode continues to cut between Joker's hilarious yet demented hosting of the show and constant action between the League and the Royal Flush Gang. The show at one point even cuts to a bookie who's giving live odds on matchups throughout the evening. So while the Joker is undeniably insane and evil, you can't help but admit that he's right. It would be must-see TV, and I'd absolutely be tuned in. I hate to say it, but good TV is good TV. But beyond the incredible presence of Mark Hamill's Joker, the entire cast of heroes also get their individual moments to shine. It's only a 40-minute runtime, but we get to see Superman showcase why he's the undisputed heavyweight champion by absolutely rolling through the Royal Flush Gang members. His great highlight of the episode is when 10 is talking shit to him while they're fighting about how he's kicking his ass, and Superman just decides to stop pulling his punches and just sends him clear across the city, showing there was never competition at all.
I don't have to beat you. I just have to slow you down until the bomb blows. Hold that thought.
Green Lantern and Hawkgirl have a little bit less to do as far as action goes in this episode, but it's showing their romance is continuing to build, and even the Joker ships the two of them on live TV right before he triggers a bomb to try and kill them both. But, you know, at least he acknowledged what they wouldn't. What's probably the best moment in the episode is when the Flash, while being goaded by the Joker, is trying to defuse the last bomb, and he's being distracted by which steps are supposed to be taken in which order, so he just decides with 1 second left to run the bomb out of the city. It's so absurd and unbelievable. The Joker makes his crew at the studio rewind the footage to see what happened and is just watching dumbfounded by the move. And that really brings me to another incredible element of this episode, which is just the Joker interacting with these other heroes. We've seen him talk to Batman and Superman plenty throughout the years, but we've never really seen him interact with characters like the Flash. So it's this really fun dynamic of him just making fun of these other heroes, but at the same time being undeniably taken aback by their heroic feats to thwart his plan. And another fantastic twist in the story, the Royal Flush Gang's youngest and most powerful member, Ace, has been secretly worming her way into every single viewer's mind the whole broadcast with her powers. She's just been chilling with the Joker at the studio. It reveals his true scheme of just trying to drive every single viewer crazy. But with all that being said, we have to talk about the GOAT, Batman, voiced by the late great Kevin Conroy. You can't have a Joker versus the Justice League story without his greatest nemesis. And of course, our guy has to be the one to save the day in the end. In true Joker fashion, he's had his girlfriend Harley out in the action the whole episode, serving as a news anchor on the scene, and eventually Batman uses this to his advantage, and it's a great showcase of his wit. He convinces her that she's being replaced by Ace, and it leads her to getting so angry she storms back to the base, allowing him to follow her back to find out where the Joker's been hiding the whole time. In Batman's attempt to finally put a stop to the plan, he is just totally outmatched by Ace's overwhelming mental power, and is just sent into this incredibly trippy headspace as he's desperately trying to stop the Joker. The floor is moving, his hands are melting from his body. It's just a really cool animated sequence. And this is also one of the closest times the Joker gets to killing Batman in this continuity, but of course he screws it up as always, and Batman eventually gains the upper hand. In his rapidly collapsing mental state, he manages to grab Ace's power-inhibiting collar out of the Joker's jacket, a device that was being used by the government for years to keep Ace in line, revealing that while the Joker claimed to not be scared of her, he was keeping the collar as insurance in case he really needed it to stop her. With this betrayal revealed, she immediately turns on him, and it's one of the most satisfying scenes in the DC animated universe. This absolutely evil, twisted man who causes so much fear and pain and death to all his victims can do absolutely nothing but just scream in horror as Ace sends him into a maddening coma as recompense for his actions. We literally see this dude spiral into unending blackness in his own mind, and it zooms out to reveal he's just drooling on the floor. After this, the mysterious young Ace takes her leave as Batman can only lie there. It's an awesome open-ended note for her story, and it leads later into arguably the greatest Batman moment in this entire show and this entire world's continuity, but that's a story for another time. The real beauty of this story, again, comes from the simplicity of the plot and how the League just operates as a team. It's just so cool to see the team operate on a mission that doesn't involve crazy intergalactic stakes. They're just doing what they need to whenever a madman gets his hands on a bomb. To compare it to like a Marvel equivalent, I love how Age of Ultron shows us an Avengers team with just a normal status quo, who are just going on missions together and operating as a team. Of course, that eventually devolves into a world-ending plot by Ultron, but before that, it's just kind of nice hanging out with the characters and really seeing their honest dynamics when the greatest threat they've ever faced is not happening. And this is really something I hope the DCU takes into consideration as they begin to develop Justice League stories. The DCAU has clearly influenced it so far, with Jon Stewart about to be introduced and Hawkgirl being in the Superman movie. So it's clear the writers and creators behind these movies have some sort of acknowledgement or love for the show. And I think its biggest lesson is sometimes the writing just provides the stakes. It can be personal enough to engage audiences without this idea of our whole world coming to an end or the multiverse collapsing or what have you. I personally don't mind that as a storytelling device, but I believe taking that idea off the table really does force writers to get a little more creative with threats and story ideas, which just leads to gems like this 2-part episode, Wild Cards. It truly is fantastic and exemplifies this show and their creators at their best. And if you haven't revisited this episode or haven't watched it at all and you're interested in DC, it's an absolute must-watch. You should absolutely check it out. As of recording, it's totally free on Tubi with ads. Give it a watch. Let us know in the comments what you thought. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you want more reviews of DCAU content, please let us know in the comments because we absolutely love it and we're happy to talk about it more. But until next time, have a great week. We'll see you around.